Guess what? We're live.
Hey, guess what? It's just the Scott Kid. It's Thursday night. We're at the B&B. And on the phone with us this evening is BadaBings. Hi, guys. So, to start off, we're going to do introductions. Tell us your name and what it is you do in the band.
I'm Steven Jarvis, and I play guitar and sing.
I'm Hudson Miles Thompson. I play a little bit of bass guitar, do a little bit of singing.
I'm who they call Margie Turtle, and I slap at the drums.
And where are you guys from so that the listening audience is aware?
The Alabama-Georgia state line, a little mix of Valley, Alabama, and West Point, Georgia.
Okay. And how long has BadaBings been a band?
Oh man, like forever, like almost a decade.
Wow.
We played during like college years, and then we took a big break when we all moved to different parts of the country, and then we wound up back down here in the swamps and got back together. So in total, it's seriously been like 8 years or something.
So you guys formed, grew up, separated, and then came back together?
Right.
Yep.
So when you guys were like separated, where did you all disband to?
Well, I'll start. I went to this is Hudson Miles Thompson, bassist of BadaBings. I went to San Diego, California, and started drinking heavily. Got really into drugs, and missed music a lot. And I started calling my bandmates a lot. And
Disclaimer: he wasn't into drugs before he moved to California.
that is true. And I think that's where my story starts and ends. So I did drugs.
Wait, but how did you? Okay, how'd you move back?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Say it again.
How'd you move back there? How do you go from San Diego to back to like?
So I was
Dueling
out there.
banjos.
I was it was an apartment community. It was real estate. It was stupid. It was fun. I wore a suit every day. It was insane.
It was awful.
Don't you speak for me. I did it every day. It was great. It was awful. And basically, I got tired of it. And I was like, literally, the one thing I missed most was music. And I just knew my boys were, also itching and raring to get back out a little bit. So I was ready. And that really was it. I was out there for about 3 years. And, after that, I was done. I was just like, it's time to play music again.
Did you finish college?
And, yeah, I did. Okay, I finished college. And actually, I just knew I wanted to move out. Whenever I saw it from West Point, Georgia originally. Finished high school, finished college, did all my stuff, and I was just like, all I want to do is move to a beach. Just want to hang out at the beach for a while. And, assuming it would be the East Coast, and I had, like, this random, my cousin, out of all people, reached out and asked if I wanted to move to San Diego. And I was like, yeah, sure, let's hang out there for a while. So I did it for about 3 years. It was awesome. And, but it was just, you think you're moving to a beach town to hang out all the time? Then you get there, find out, no, I'm wearing a suit every day with a tie. I had a tie. It's insane. And, so worked there for about 3 years. And, at that point it was just over. I wanted a big change and honestly missed music was the most thing. I moved out there thinking West Coast, Southern California in particular. I can find some people that like the kind of music I do. No, I didn't. I poured myself out on Craigslist for years. Be a musician. I did not sell my body. I poured myself out as a musician and as a friend. And just didn't really find it clicked. And I just ended up, I was talking to these guys constantly as they were in different areas. And, we all just kind of ended up moving back in the same area and getting after it again. That's my story at least. So yeah.
Thank you. All right, you have to give us your story.
Well, I guess speaking of Craigslist, me and Dree here, the guitarist of the band, Dree.
They call me that for no one knows why.
Yeah, Dree. Anyway, Steven, for fuck's sake. I actually put an ad up on Craigslist back in 2011, I think, and looking for someone to play with, and then this fucking random guy invites me to a basement to play music. I'm like, yep, I'm definitely getting molested here.
They have basements where you're from?
It was actually I was very confused on it first. It was actually a venue called The Basement.
Oh.
And so that's where the practice space was. And we actually started a band called Kiwi Jane for a little bit. We played one show, it was very short-lived and not lasted long at all. Fun time, but it just didn't go anywhere, really. He actually ended up going to college, like you just said, and I kind of drifted off to obscurity for a little while. Until old Hudson Miles Thompson, based at the BadaBings, hit me up on Facebook one day. It's like, hey, dude, you want to come play drums for this band that me and Steven Jarvis started? I'm like, hell yeah, dude. Like, I've been wanting to play with Steven Jarvis for, years now. So, I ended up coming out to West Point with them and meeting up at what we call the band house, which has been dubbed the band house. And played on a little makeshift drum set they had from someone else that had come there and tried to fit in with them. I don't know who that was. I'm just kidding. He was who was that again? Who drums were you?
I don't even know who you are. It's too late.
Anyway, he was a cool dude, that guy. I'm not hating on him or anything. But honestly, it was dare I say, love at first sight, I guess. Anyway, and so yeah, from there we just kind of fucking flourished. We played shows here and there. Anyway, getting to the story of when we all kind of drifted off a little bit. Dree, aka Steven, went off to college. Hudson ended up. Oh no, he did that before BadaBings. I'm sorry, that was wrong. Anyway, we just decided to take a break, I guess, because things weren't. I don't know why we did. We took a break. They went off. I actually moved out to. I'm sorry, I ramble. I ended up moving out to Colorado, actually, Colorado Springs, Colorado, and I guess just kind of went on sort of an adventure, just to really just fucking, for lack of better words, find myself, I guess. I was out there for about 2.5, 3 years, about the same amount of time, I guess. They were off and shit. I had a great time, man. Smoked a shit ton of legal weed. I ain't even gonna lie about that. Great time. Just met some great people, had some great adventures, just a really great time, man. Really was in the best shape and all that. I don't know, just a really good time, man. I remember one day Hudson called me. I was actually just hanging out that night and not doing anything. I think playing some games. Hudson called me. But we talked on the phone for probably 4 hours, man. Just 4 hours, 5 hours. I don't even know how long it was. Just talking about playing music and all that, man. I didn't play any music out there. I actually ended up selling my drum kit out there, man. And I was devastated I had to do that. It was my baby, It was a part of me. I had to sell, man. I sold it for fucking $100. Can you believe that? $100, man. I sold that shit for $100. I'm like, I look back on that now. I'm like, I can't believe it. Yeah, dude, I was homeless. I was homeless for a little while. I actually ended up getting evicted from my apartment out in Colorado and shit. I actually drove down. We're telling our stories, aren't we? Drove down to Colorado, to San Diego, California, actually, on New Year's Eve, to only find my boy Hudson Miles Thompson, bases of BadaBings here, passed the fuck out on his couch, door unlocked. I'm just in a gate. I'm like, what are you doing with your life? No, I'm just kidding. It was great. He sprung up into action clearly, and we kept drinking for a little while. It's the new year and all that. It was a great fucking time. I got back to Colorado. Stayed in California for a couple weeks actually, and went back to Colorado. Gave some people some ride shares on Craigslist to get back to Colorado, which is actually a lot of fun. Met a couple of really cool people who were just some of the best humans I've ever met in my life. Got back to Colorado, found a place to live, found a good job and all that. Stayed out there for about, that was about another 2 years, something like that. I stayed out there. And one day, we just all kind of like talked about it, man. And we're just like, guys, we miss it, man. We miss the music. We miss playing together. We miss being around each other all the time. Even if it is in a place such as fucking Alabama and Georgia. Hey, man, at least I got my fucking boys, right? We ended up moving back here. We actually moved to Macon, Georgia, before we actually came back to our hometown. And we stayed out there for about 9 months. And that's where we wrote the majority of our first album we wrote, Be Beautiful. And it was pretty rad, man. But yeah, I guess the moral of the story is...
the moral of the story is the interview's over because that took 45 minutes.
What
that's what we like to do. We like to talk a little bit and then just talk over me.
So what I've gleaned from this, in order to be a well put together group, you have to go do drugs in a different state, become destitute, and finally come back to your like podunk town so that you can make music again.
That's pretty much exactly what happened. I don't know if it's necessary, but it's definitely exactly what happened. I mean, I went to...
do you know what a summary is?
Say what?
I said, do you know what a summary is? Just kidding.
I can give you my summary because I haven't even gone yet.
I know!
I moved to Chicago and then...
Athens, Georgia first.
Okay. Marcy reminds me, Athens, Georgia first. I moved to Athens, Georgia, spent a few years there, moved to Chicago and spent a few years there, and then we had our discussion and decided we would all move back and be a band again because real life is stupid. That was it.
I agree with that. Real life is stupid.
So you guys each moved... So first question. Were you born and raised in Georgia?
I was born in Houston, Texas.
Okay.
But I was raised in Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was born in Alabama and raised in Alabama.
Okay. So
That was...
So
and it's just Hudson Miles Thompson, bassist of BadaBings. I was born in Georgia and also raised in Georgia, yes.
Okay. So I ask that because you all three went to different prominent cities that, have a very, I would say, growing and large music scene. Specifically, there's ska in all of those areas you went to. And none of you could make it in music? Like, what do you think is different between those scenes and where you're from?
I live down the street from a club called YOLO, Jess. That's all I got to say about Colorado Springs. Yeah, okay. There was no music scene there, is what I'm saying. Like, not when I lived there anyway. I mean, a bunch of weed heads, but not the music scene I was looking for, per se.
Gotcha.
I guess.
So would you say that it was difficult to find... Do you find it difficult to find music in other places? Do you think it's more hidden and underground?
I think I did. So I'll say this, Jess. This is Hudson Miles Thompson, bassist of BadaBings. I'll say this. Whenever I moved out to San Diego, I'm telling you, it was weird how aggressively, I would literally play with anybody. And, but I definitely put, my interest down as, the three for me are punk, ska, and reggae. Those are the three kind of big ones I love. And it was weird. It was strange. I played with a lot of people. And I don't know if it was, for me in particular, I don't know if it was because we were so close to LA scene or what, but people were immediately we got to do this, that, and the other. We're gonna go here. We're gonna make it big. And I'm like, can we pump the brakes and make it big? What are we doing here, guys? Let's calm down. Maybe just jam for a minute, see if we gel. I don't know. And it was, I don't know. There's a lot of people who are really trying to get an aggressive start on things before maybe it was merited. I don't know if that's right. I don't know. It was weird. It was a very weird thing that I was dealing with. I'll say that, at least in San Diego, California. I don't know what it is, but yeah, for me, that's kind of what it was. Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but that's at least how it was for me. I don't know.
I think I think for me in Chicago, it wasn't a challenge of finding music to fit in with, but I didn't really try because I was busy with other stuff, trying to be an adult. But I think ultimately it was just the connection that the three of us have together is something that I missed.
Gotcha.
For sure.
So,
It really is.
you keep saying you all went off to be adults. So, can I ask, did you give up being adults when you moved home? Or...
Yes. Resounding yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm.
We're, I mean, I have, so Marzi and Hudson work at a beer store. They make beer and and I work at a Kia manufacturing plant, so I make Kia cars.
I make Kia.
And I also have a recording studio and record label. So, like, you know, we're doing adult stuff, but it's sort of a...
It's
Kid
laid,
friendly.
it's laid back. It's at your own terms. It's not like the man, right?
Right.
What kind of beer do you make?
We this is a small constant basis of BadaBings. I've been working for Wildleaf Brewing Company for about 9 months, and Marzi, drummer of BadaBings, started there about 2 weeks ago. So yeah, it's I mean, if you're asking literally what kind of it, it's
Yeah.
bunch of fruity, juicy double IPAs. You're gonna love them, Jess. You're gonna love them.
In fact, right now we're.
I'm
actually
gonna
drinking
break.
on,
I'm gonna break your heart. I'm a sour girl. If we didn't pick up on the
Oh,
level,
God,
I was
yeah.
about to say it, bro. I was about to say it.
Bada-bing!
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
There's a question that somebody who's watching wants to ask. Hold on a second. Hi, Adam says, "Hey homies, what brought you to music as a creative outlet?" I was getting there, Adam. Calm down.
Adam.
As a creative outlet, what brought me to music as a creative outlet? Well, I wasn't good at anything else, so that's what I did. That's a tough question because we've been playing for so long that it just kind of is our creative outlet. But that's all I gotta say, I guess.
For me, this is Marzi Carroll, drummer buddies. For me, I grew up in a family full of like musicians and artists, and my dad and my brother are fucking phenomenal artists, man. I suck at like drawing and all that, but they are fucking phenomenal. But my dad, I get from my dad the musical side of myself, and it's actually funny. They were all like trumpet players in like high school and junior high band and all that, but I didn't really take that route. I was like, I want to play drums because like that's just, I don't know. But I mean, really, it's just like, yeah, my come up, I guess. I was around music my entire life, and I've been playing drums now for fucking like, I thought about today, like 19 years, man. I'm playing drums for 19 years, dude, and like, honestly, it's a hard question to answer just because like I can't even think of a life without music in it these days, man. So like, I don't know. It's literally my soul. It's like it's my very fucking being, Jess. I can't even. That's it. Like I just came up around music my whole life, and that's what led.
Ready? This is how we summarize that. Are you ready? Music is life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a little boring, Jess. I like to give a full
No.
description.
Not if you say
I'm
milk.
kidding. I'm kidding. No,
Not if you say
I'm totally
MILF,
kidding.
right? Because that's a conversation starter.
Yeah, no, I'm totally kidding. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Music is life, it is soul, it is love, it is everything. Man. That's my thing. Hudson, your turn.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I guess for me, I've always been super attracted to bass. My mom kind of brought me up listening to like funk and soul. My dad brought me up listening to like 70s like rock and blues. My dad's got one of the biggest vinyl collections of anybody I know, at least, and it's always been he's always been around. So, but I've always really enjoyed bass playing, especially in these bands that, like I said, like mom and dad turned me on to. And yeah, randomly, buddy of mine gave me a bass guitar, and I was like, this is it. This is fun. I like this. This is what I'm actually going to put my time and energy into. And fast forward 8-9 years, and that's where we are. So yeah.
Anybody else want to chime in on that?
No, there's only 3 of us.
That was everyone.
I was just waiting. I was being polite before I jumped to the next question. Which is this? How did you guys come up with the name BadaBings?
That's all them.
Oh.
I wasn't a part of the band actually when they made the name BadaBings. This is the drummer, so I'm just gonna let them take it away from here.
There is kind of a funny story. Hudson and I were trying to come up with the worst bar band.
Which, by the way, we should say we met via a mutual friend of ours, and you called me one night drunk. And I immediately started drinking, and that's, I think, where the story picks up.
Okay, so Hudson just wanted to make sure you knew we were drinking.
Yeah,
because so we decided we were going to try to be a bar cover band to make some money. And we tried to come up with the worst bar band name we could, and we came up with BadaBings, and then we accidentally kept it.
Explain the fact that we both hate bar cover bands.
Oh yeah, we
were doing it as a joke. And we were like, let's come up with the worst band name we possibly could. And we did. And yeah, dude. And anyway, okay, I'll take it. But yeah, so anyway, we come up with BadaBings. We're going to be a bar cover band, BadaBings. We're going to meet up and play some music. And day one of us meeting up and playing music, the very first time we decided to do this, we immediately hung out and said, hey, you know what? You remember how we both don't like bar cover bands? Let's also not do that, but keep the same name. And also, let's write punk music now, and also some reggae, and see what happens. And fast forward, again, 9 years, and we are still with BadaBings. No one's changed.
So
no one's had any change that name.
Let's back. I want to go back just a little bit because you said that you have a record label and a recording studio.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Steven does.
So how, like, explain a little bit about that. Like, who are you recording and how did that come to be? And how successful are you with that venture? Or are you still growing?
Definitely still growing. So I lived in, I think Marty said something about it earlier, we lived in Macon for a while. Whenever I lived in Macon, I helped start a recording studio there and basically learned how it all worked while I was there. And then that business venture sort of fell apart, and one of the partners of that place, which was called 5-4 Music Space, he and I ventured off and started our own thing, which is now our record label called Cancer Records. And I record everything, and together we produce albums and put them out on vinyl. We've done 3 so far. We've got a 4th on the way, literally right now, to being shipped to us at this moment. And a 5th one is done being recorded, so now we're mixing and mastering it, and that'll be next. So right now we've got 1, 2, 3 different artists, including BadaBings, and about to sign a 4th.
Can you say who it is that you work with? Who's on Cancer Records?
Sure. So Cancer Records is sort of a alternative, like post-punk focus. So the genres vary a little bit, but we have BadaBings. We have Lens is the other one, which is my business partner, Bradley Lens, his project. It's sort of a like art garage rock. Yeah, kind of like Dinosaur Jr. a little bit. And then we have a band called Insomnia. They are heavy alternative, sort of Tool-esque. And then our newest band that we are working on signing right now is a band called Zulu Prophet, and they are sort of alternative reggae jam band. They're really cool. So, yeah.
How do you come to have, like, how does a band seek out a record label? Are you guys, like, seeking bands, or are they coming to you, or what's that look like?
Well, so far, I pick up whoever I think is good that I happen to run into, basically. Like, we don't have our feelers out there enough for people to just stumble upon us and be like, oh, I need to submit to Cancer Records. Like, the chances of them finding us are pretty slim. But we are pretty much wide open. Like, if somebody wants to contact me and submit something to me, then we'll be glad to check it out and listen to it. Whether or not it's a good match is to be seen, of course, but like, we're definitely open for submissions. The bands we have now, that's how it's worked, though. They've been Zulu Prophet, we met via BadaBings, was playing with them. Insomnia is the band that I had worked with previously as a producer, like recording them and stuff. So, yeah.
So how do you guys come to know Adam and Elevation and, like, be on this show? How do you know him?
Adam, actually, we met Adam through a DIY Facebook group, I think.
Okay.
I think he posted something saying he was interested in ska and reggae bands or something similar. And I commented on it and said, hey, that sounds like us. Let me send you some stuff. And then since then, we've been messaging on Facebook Messenger. So that was, I don't know, like last year sometime or something.
So it was a recent thing, yeah?
Yeah, I'd say within a year and a half maybe, that I've been in contact with him.
So what is, as far as like your area of the world, because I think you guys would now be our first Georgia-Alabama group we've talked to. So, yay! Like, yeah! Explain that, like, to us, what is the scene like there? Is there a prominent ska reggae scene? Do you play with a lot of other genres of music? Or what does that look like as far as your music scene goes?
Where we live specifically, there's nothing. We pretty much live in the woods, in a swamp. So I love to say we live in a swamp. We actually don't live anywhere near a swamp. We live on a river. So there's nothing here at all. Basically, when BadaBings plays, we travel, either to somewhere near Atlanta or Savannah or one of the other.
We will travel to you. We will travel to you.
Travel any fucking where for you.
So yeah, so our scene is not our hometown. Basically, we play a lot around Atlanta.
Yeah? What's that like? Is it hard?
Well, we have sort of, before COVID happened, we did sort of find our way, like, in a pretty sweet little punk scene. So there is a pretty, I don't know, healthy, growing punk scene in Atlanta right now.
That we've gotten into.
Yeah, we've been pretty big in it so far.
Ish, not really.
Who books for your group? Usually
it's us. Whoever they.
But do you all share the responsibility then of setting up shows and like negotiating with the venue, or how does that work? Talk to us a little bit about that. And is it difficult? Has it been difficult to cut teeth in a place such as Atlanta that has just such a rich history of music?
I mean,
these are big adult questions.
Yeah, no, I guess before the whole COVID pandemic and all that, like we would personally reach out. Like I would reach out to like Masquerade in Atlanta and all that, and see if we can get shows there, here and there. We definitely played in the Masquerade. Like what? We played in the Masquerade, especially before they made the new one. We played in the Masquerade quite a few times. But before the COVID thing, we were just like personally reaching out to different venues, and like we've been kind of saving up like a database kind of thing for venues to reach out to. But like here, actually, lately, we've been playing shows like for people reaching out to us for real. I mean, like it's not like huge shows and like big venues or anything, but like just some small connections we made. They've been reaching out to us like, hey, you want to come play this show we're having here? We actually played a show not too long ago. About 3 weeks ago? Sean's? Yeah. About 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, something like that. And, like, I don't know, it's difficult right now, this is not an easy question to answer, I guess. Like, before that, yeah, for sure, we would reach out to other venues and try and,
so let's,
just see, like,
let's talk about that then. The uncomfortable that is the current culture, COVID and all sorts of ridiculous that is happening currently. Do you guys, what's it like now playing out again? Because you guys are in a whole different part of the U.S. that has opened up, that has said, fuck it, we're throwing caution to the wind, herd immunity, we'll take death as it comes. What's it like playing out? Do you feel safe playing out? And, how do you guys feel you've adapted to changes? Have bars changed? Is there capacity? Talk to us about that.
So we're pretty much wide open here in our state, but since COVID started, I think we played 2 shows, maybe 3. They corrected me, it's 3. They've all been outside, basically backyards where we do feel safe to hang out and do it. Like it's open and minimal contact with everyone. So, we're not really playing unless someone asks us to do it. Mm-hmm. We're kind of we're playing it as safe as we can. And seriously, our last show there were maybe 20 people, and we were all outside, and it was trying to keep it as safe as possible. So we're not at all even looking at booking right now, to be honest with you. These things just fell in our lap, and we said yes because we thought we could safely do it.
Okay. I've asked a few people this now. When do you feel that it will be safe to say, try to book a tour and go someplace?
I do not know. I think I think it is kind of impossible to tell right now.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know enough about what's going on, and every day there's new development. So
I'll say this though. I think the one important thing that is cool right now is, this is probably the first time as a band. Again, this is Hudson Thompson, bassist of BadaBings. I think this is the first time as a band we've actually looked at just like we've never given a shit about like social media or anything like that too much. And this is honestly a good time, I think, for us to look at social media and see what we can do with that. And it's kind of what I think, with the lack of kind of face-to-face, obviously, freaking, shows and everything. We're just, playing a little bit more with online stuff and seeing what's fun to, seeing what we can do with that. So I think that's kind of where we are right now, I'll say.
Also, it's like a good opportunity for us to like reach out to people for channels like you, to do this online kind of thing, like to spread out to other people and really like put a good. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Just good for like these kind of things, you know what I mean? Like just podcasts or Facebook pages or YouTube pages, whatever the hell you want to call it. I don't know, man. It's a weird time, and it has weird opportunities arising. I don't know what to say about it really.
So will you focus your energies then perhaps on finding different podcasts like us and getting your music out there instead of trying to book shows? Is that the direction you're going to go in?
Yeah.
Well, if you need help connecting with anybody in the world, let us know, because that's what we do here. We help get you from where you want to be.
Yeah, hook us up. Connect us.
Easily.
Give us that connection.
Easily. We got the Shadow Scene podcast in Tennessee. We've got Talk the Sky in Chicago. We've got Cooley Ranks Car Sessions in New York. Thomas, who manages Epic 18 out in SoCal. Mexicali. He'll get you play. So just to name off 5 of our Viva La Ska, if you actually have a CD, you can mail it to Josh at Viva Ska Radio and he'll play it for you. There's Ska Parade, there's Button Down Ska Radio across the pond in the UK. And so there's tons of stuff all over the place that you can help. I hope Adam's writing fucking notes. So that you
yeah, I was just looking for a pen too, so.
Adam, write the note. Write the note.
But who will man the boats? Just kidding. So there are tons and tons and tons of people who are now doing exactly what this is. You know, radio has always, and this. I'm gonna soapbox for a second if you'll let me. I haven't even asked you guys if you use a distributor yet or not. But this is why I feel the music industry can be taken back and controlled by the musicians that are making the art, because right now you're seeing such a dynamic push in social media. It's easy to sit in a basement, shoot fucking messages out to any band you want and say, hey, want to call me and I'll go live with you and we'll ask questions and I'll play your music. Radio has been such a influential way of getting your sound out there, and I feel like this is the opportunity and time now that if bands aren't utilizing this medium, they're hurting themselves. They're kind of like cutting off their nose to spite their face. So I highly encourage you gentlemen to really push it. Also, there's what's her face, the Underbelly Hours. That's a college radio station. I got started in college radio, and there's tons. What's his name? Fatty Hoffman in Chicago. Another Flabby. There you go. So there's tons. There are tons all over the place that you can get connected to. So I encourage you to do those things. Which leads me to, how many albums do you guys have? Like, where's your music?
Oh, dude, we actually have a band camp with like everything we've ever done on it. Yeah, that's what I was gonna start with that, just because like it's like band camp, really. Anyway, no,
Band
we actually
camp's
have
the best.
Dude, band camp's legit, man. Like we're on there, man. BadaBings Music is MUZAK. BadaBings Music. That's our band camp.
It's also your YouTube.
Do what now?
I said it's also your YouTube channel.
Yeah, I think it's just about everything other than Spotify. We're on Spotify and like what else? Apple Music.
Yeah, we're on all the streaming services.
Yeah, we're on all the streaming services. Just search BadaBings. You'll see our glorious, beautiful faces on there, face paint and all. We have 2 official albums on there. # Be Beautiful and Spring Road Sessions, which is actually a dedication to our band house I mentioned earlier. It's a place that we have that we've shut the fuck up. That we've been into. We've been there forever. That's where we all started this whole adventure, this journey, this beautiful, wondrous ride into like eternity with each other, man. Like that's it, man. Like I don't know what to say, man. But yeah, we're on Spotify, all the streaming services, and all that. Just search for BadaBings, man, and you'll find us.
So,
not the BadaBings. There is another band called the BadaBings. I should mention that. There is another band called the BadaBings. Don't search it with the. It's just BadaBings. Sorry, go ahead.
And it's also BADA, right? Bada?
Yes, ma'am. It is BADABING.
That's one word. Yep, Adam's
Yep.
drop. Check the links in the comments, and you can find them easy. Thanks, Adam. So what was talk about the recording process? Like as a band, it seems like you guys have this brotherhood. You seem very cohesive as far as sound goes. Talk about how you practice and what's recording like. Is there like a band dad who says this is how we're gonna do it, or do you all collaborate and grow together?
I'm the band dad. They both laughed and pointed at me, and my name is Pet Pet. So I guess I'm in charge here. But yeah, I mean, as far as the recording process, it all depends on the project. Like our latest album, Spring Road Sessions, is basically completely live. So we set everything up like we were going to practice. A little different. We moved our amps into other rooms of the house, and I just brought all my recording gear to the band house, and we played through all the songs, and then I mixed it, and that was it. So it depends on the project, but yeah, it's that one was our latest one was very different than Be Beautiful, which was more piece by piece style, like actual studio recording style.
That's why if you listen to Spring Road Sessions, it sounds a little more. It sounds a little more raw. Spring Road Sessions does, like, because it was all done in like one long take, you know, as opposed to like piece by piece. And like we did kind of go back, I guess, on a couple songs on Spring Road Sessions, but all in all, it was like one long take, so it wasn't like. It would Be Beautiful, like, you know, yeah, like I said, yeah, piece by piece, yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Which did you like better? Did you like doing it more as a we all play together and we take the one long take?
I just love it both. But yeah, Spring Road Sessions. Yeah.
It sounds like everybody is saying Spring Road Sessions, so live.
So is that going to be a goal? Do you have anything in the works as far as another, album lined up?
Oh. Well, you want me to? I was gonna say, I don't know personally. Like, I did 100% love just the absolute, like, just because it was like raw and natural. Like we like did it was just like just a good flow with Spring Road Sessions. But personally, I do like that style. But I guess I kind of like the piece by piece style a little better. We do have a couple songs that we've been working on here lately that are dare I say booger. And yeah, we I don't know if we're like working on a new album, but I mean we're always I guess working on a new album technically. We're always working on new shit for sure, yeah.
I mean, how often when you guys get together are you writing new songs? How productive are your practices?
Say again?
I said, how productive are your practices?
Oh, our practices are not super productive all the time. But pretty much every time we get together, we start on some new idea. So it never really stops. A lot of it we'll throw out or completely forget by the time we practice next. But it never really stops.
I just want to say real quick about that, kind of how you mentioned earlier, like we have the whole like just I guess brotherhood thing going on. We just really get together and just fucking play music, man. And like if something new comes, it comes. If it doesn't, hell, I don't give a shit. I just like fucking playing music, man. That's just how it is.
So you guys you remind me of like a Slightly Stupid kind of esque sound. Did I get it? Did I get your main influence? So
well, everyone cheers, so they were stoked about it.
Yeah. Not my main influence, but I do adore Slightly Stupid.
Okay,
sure.
So that's what I heard when I started listening to you guys, and it just kind of made me think, since you are in the middle of nowhere that I know of has ska, how did you get into this genre of music, and why are you playing this?
So I'll go first. Honestly, my brother, man, I'll give a shout out to my brother, Jonathan Elton Holmes. Lovely guy. He introduced me to 311 at quite an early age. I don't know if anybody out there has ever heard of 311, but 311 is my favorite fucking band of all goddamn time. And yeah, man, that kind of led to like my first 3 albums were 311 Sound System, No Doubt's Tragic Kingdom, and Sublime's self-titled album. So, I mean, yeah, man, like it kind of went downhill from there. That's uphill from there. I don't know what you want to call it, but like, you know, how you like to look at ska and reggae and all that kind of shit. It just kind of it flourished from there, man. Like with No Doubt, Sublime, 311, like those are all 3 bands that are heavily influenced by like reggae. So I guess like, you know, my brother, pretty much like, I don't know if he intended for me to be this heavily into reggae, but that's how it is, you know. So.
I don't think I have a good story about how I got into this kind of music being down here. I just kind of did. Sublime definitely was an early one, and it grew from there. But I was always into punk music, so maybe that's what it was. I skateboarded all the time back in the day, so I was listening to skateboard punk music, and it's an easy jump from that point.
I'll say, yeah, it all started honestly for me with like Less Than Jake. So I was like listening to a lot of punk music in like high school, and I got into Less Than Jake randomly. They started popping up in like just random friends would recommend them whenever I was listening to, you know, God knows whatever I was listening to, Black Flag, Bad Brains, all that. Like Less Than Jake somehow crept in, and I was like, ooh. Anyway, went from there, saw them at Warped Tour. Ended up getting into, you know, the more bigger ones, and you got freaking Less Than Jay, Real Big Fish. It just ended up jumping around, and really it just ended up like, for me, it always started with punk, got to ska, and then went to reggae, and yeah, it was just playing around with all those different bass styles, and it was a real fun time. So yeah.
So, do you guys, so outside of Georgia, have you played in Alabama?
I don't think I have actually.
Yeah.
Have we played it?
Yeah.
We played it.
We're trying to decide.
Weird. I don't think we've ever played. No. I don't think we've ever played in Alabama. No.
Surf band.
I mean, maybe, but I can't. I played in a church band in Alabama.
Not recently.
Yeah, none of us can remember a single time we played in Alabama, actually. We always venture into Georgia if we're playing.
So do you guys go in search of like other local or underground bands? Like, do you go seek out new music?
I think I'll say this. I'll say this before.
I don't know. Who is it? You got to use the whole title.
Was it?
She doesn't know who you are without you.
I'm sorry. This is Fitzmiles Thompson. This is a bass player of Montreux.
I'm going to hold you to the whole interview.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Look at me slipping. God, we're only like.
How many beers in? How many beers in, gentlemen?
Mm-hmm.
I said
Wait, say it again?
I said, how many beers in, gentlemen?
This is my fourth. And my answer is this.
This is not your fourth.
My answer is... Pose the question. We played in...
Alabama.
No, do you look for other bands?
Oh, yeah. In the before times. Prior to COVID. No, I'll say this. I did go to a lot of ska shows, reggae shows, punk shows. Kind of the three things I like to go to see. I'll say this. I really enjoyed watching whatever opener was happening, finding out they were from Atlanta, Alpharetta, wherever, and immediately hollering at them and being like, dude, we should play together. Sending them our stuff, talking. So that was definitely one way. Again, prior to the whole shutdown, it was definitely one way I at least I definitely found a couple bands for us to, play with, open for, whatever. So that was definitely a part of it at one time, but at the moment, no, not necessarily,
right?
not necessarily for me. No, I don't think so.
All right, Huntsville, Alabama, correct? Are you familiar?
Where? Yes, we're familiar with Huntsville.
All right, are you
Absolutely.
familiar with a surf band called Djaraku?
Nope.
Holy fuck! So you should look them up. I will send you, or I'll send Adam a link. These guys play music that is amazing. So, and they all wear like the Japanese, I forget what type of mask it's called, but they all wear these masks and they play awesome surf music. So, if you're looking to expand
Sweet.
and broaden, that's a band down around your parts that you could, that comes to the top of my head, that you could network with. Just so you know.
Oh yeah, send us the info. That'd be great.
And in
Also,
Florida, you should check out, I think you guys would do really well with Trees of Life and the Intercoastals. So if you've never heard of them, check them out as well.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Trees of Life and Intercoastal. Just DM us.
Marcy, write that down.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Hell no.
We always got work to do, right? This is part of it. Because you guys, it's really cool, something that we've done, and I'll ask if you've done it. Have you done any live, like, stream shows? Like, hey, watch us. Like, set up any sort of, like, virtual, there's 4 bands, we all do an event page, and we each get a time slot and play thing? Kind of like how Supernova's been?
We have not, because at our previous practice space we didn't have Wi-Fi, and and so I just bought a house and I just got set up in my new house. So now that I'm here, we could do something like that, but we haven't had the ability to until now. So yeah, we're planning on doing something like that.
That's another way to, like, keep the energy of your band alive is, seeking out 3 other bands and just putting together a virtual show where each of you guys just go live from that event page, and then, you have a nice little thing. You can set up, like, the PayPal and the Vimo accounts, and people can pay you so that you're not losing, money during COVID.
Right.
Just other ways to do the music thing.
Dude, fucking, I don't know. DM us, man. I don't fucking know. Help us out. I don't fucking know.
I'm helping you. Your job is just to listen right now. Next question. How about merchandise? Do you have merchandise? And if so, where can people find it? Is it for sale? Crocodiles
We do
are
have
wearing the
merch.
shit? What?
We do have merchandise. We have T-shirts and stickers and vinyls.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we get the
Yes.
Close.
So these are
Something
available
like
in 2 different places. One, we've got our own website, which is BadaBingsBand.com, and which we hardly ever use. But then the other place we sell our vinyl through Cancer Records. Cancer Records has their own website, and you can get the vinyl on there. I think it's like $15 or something. It's pretty cheap, but it's cancerrecords.com.
So then, if somebody is trying to, say, buy your vinyl, do they also kind of get, you have merch packages? Like, do you send them a sticker and a button or anything like that?
Oh yeah, stickers are free.
Cool.
So we'll throw a sticker in there. We get stickers in there every time, but yeah.
Neat. How about your artwork? Who is responsible for your artwork?
Oh, dude. Remember earlier how I said my dad was a fucking phenomenal artist?
Yeah.
Well, the artwork for our first album, Be Beautiful, Oh, this is Marty Turner, by the way. The first album, that is 100% my dad's artwork, man, and it is absolutely fucking beautiful. It is also on one of our shirts, our white t-shirts that we have on our website, I guess. I don't fucking know anything about this, but they do. And
I love that I could hear you in the background, like, two of you were like, give me a reason to use it. Why should we use it? Do you not like your website? Is it easier for people to just find you and go through Facebook? Like, what's your preferred medium?
I guess it would be, yeah. But, I mean, no, we're cool with the website. We just don't ever get on there and update anything. That's all it is. Everything's available on there. It all works. We like the website, but I'm just the drummer. I don't care.
It's a good website. It's a good website. You're gonna love the website. Who does? You're gonna love the website.
So who does the website?
BadaBingsBand.com. You're gonna love the website.
BadaBingsBand.com.
Who did it?
Who does it? Like, who manages it? Like, who created this thing that you don't want to use?
Our friend Andrew Logan set it up for us. He did a great job. It looks great. It works great. We are mostly on social media. If you actually want to contact us,
Gotcha.
you know, if you want to order something, then websites, either of those websites work great.
Yeah.
They won't be forgotten?
No.
Okay. So, we've reached the top of the hour, though that might be hard to believe. It has come. In closing, final thoughts, words, questions, comments, ponderings. What you got for the listening audience?
Me?
Sorry, we'll go around again. I don't fucking know.
Follow our pages. Thanks for listening.
What can people expect from the video we're going to show them?
Oh, god damn, man. Line fuck up, people.
Jeez.
No, it's not that many fuck ups, but like, I don't know, man. Just compared to, like, I don't know. I'm just gonna stop talking.
Yeah?
It's an hour long. It's literally a set that we were practicing for a show. So
Wonderful.
we literally played our live set for this video.
It's pretty good, though.
And we had a good time. That's the only thing. We all have a good time regardless of what we're doing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I had a great time. It was a good time, sure.
You guys are going to enjoy it. I hope you enjoy it. There's a lot of mess up.
I really do hope you all enjoy it, man. We had a lot of fun doing it, and I don't know, man. That's it. We just had a lot of fun doing it. I hope you enjoy it.
And if any...
Thank you, Jess. Thank you so
Thank you.
much for having us. This is awesome. We really appreciate it.
Thanks. I have to say I'm excited to show the video. It was a lot of fun to watch. I like that you guys added in the song titles. You had funky lights. And you can tell that you really enjoy playing your instruments. There's a lot of emotion behind them. So I guess...
It means a lot to me, Jeff.
It's very evident that, you know, each of you want to continue your craft and you work very well together. So Adam, thank you so much for introducing us to BadaBings. BadaBings, thank you so much for doing this interview, and hopefully when COVID's done, if you feel brave enough, come up to Kenosha and play in our basement.
Dude,
Oh, yeah.
fucking know, man. We'll fucking be there in a heartbeat, Jeff.
Jess, literally, we'll do it tomorrow.
Well, you'll
For sure. Up in the night, man.
you'll be there in about 16 hours. But
That's nothing.
okay. Well, guys, again,
We really do appreciate it, though, Jess. We love you.
thanks, guys. We love you too. We're gonna let you go so we can play your music video. Sound good?
Hell yeah, man. We're gonna watch it.
Bye, guys.
See ya.
Bye. That was the BadaBings. You can catch them and check them out. BadaBingsmusic.com or CancerRecords.com or on Facebook. Search BadaBings. They're also on Spotify, Apple Music, Bandcamp, any YouTube as BadaBing Music, which is like M-U-Z-I-C. I think that I spelled that right. But Stay tuned.
Muzak.
There you go. I can't spell. I just talk. We're going to take a short break, and then we'll be back where we're going to show you their video. Okay?
Thanks.
Bye.